Brick Snaps, otherwise known as Martin from Alabama, an awesome mock maker that you've probably seen at your convention with his 6-foot-tall Rapunzel tower. But he doesn't stop there, because he's not afraid to get technical with some of those motors. He's also not afraid to show off his mock making mess. Be honest. We all do it. This was not a paid advertisement for the Cali Clique, but Brick Snaps is a huge supporter, so we're just showing him some love.
I think we can do it. When we tend to have like a microphone, we tend to talk for longer.
Yeah, that's the only problem.
You say afterwards.
Alright. In 5, 4, 3, 2.
Welcome back, everybody, to Cali Brick Clique. We are here for, I don't even know what number episode we're on at this point.
24?
And 25, who cares? But we are here. I am Claire, the plastic architect, Ninja from Ninja with the Bricks, and Shy, your usual suspects. And today we have our special guest, TEK Thomas from TEK Productions. Hey, buddy, how you doing?
What up?
I'm very good. I feel honored to be invited on.
Oh my God, no, stop it.
It's an honor. The honor is ours.
Yeah, honor is ours. You are our second UK guest, our second international guest, so it's very exciting. So we're recording at an early hour for us and a reasonable hour for you. So right now, Shy is not working that typical 9 to 5 right now. So, and Ninja and I have flexible schedules, so we're here. Yeah. Anyway, so today there's a few topics that we want to talk about. Maybe something a little bit more heavy, but I don't think so. I think just a little bit more.
I think it's pretty.
Yeah,
it's not
interesting. Yeah.
Mm.
But first, how are you guys doing? What's the latest? What have you been buying? What haven't you been buying? What's going on?
I mean,
I found some Speed Champions. Woo!
yeah, there you go.
The new ones that came out, or some old ones on sale?
No, it was the new ones. They didn't have the Bronco in the Lego store.
That's my favorite.
Well, the Broncos delayed.
Yeah, that's what they're saying. I didn't know that.
Yeah, I don't know anyone. Everyone's just kind of speculating to why. Even the Lego stores, at least the ones that I've been to, they were kind of shocked to why, because they had to set it up on that Monday before, June 1st, on the 31st, they had to set it up. So, I actually felt bad because they weren't sent the world map built like they did the Star Destroyer or the Coliseum or the Millennium Falcon. Those came built and glued together. So they had to build the map like quickly in like a day.
Yeah, they did.
Oh my God!
I went to a
Every store had
bunch
to
of
do that.
stores. Yeah, I went to a bunch of stores around there, and they were all like rushing to build it, like while the store. It was still like a crazy Saturday, and they were all building it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was nuts. But the thing is, how were they supposed to ship it? I guess you think they should have already shipped it glued. Did they?
I mean,
ship
it probably would have been like shipped like in half or something.
Yeah, they could have broken.
Yeah, they could have broken it in half. I mean, they shipped the box. I remember when I received the Star Destroyer in my store, it was in this giant box, and it did come broken because it was glued. But like, which kind of sucks because if it is glued, you can't fix it like you would a normal Lego set.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And the part that was broken was the Technic stand that goes into the Star Destroyer. So we're like, I was holding up with Duplo bricks because that was the only thing I can do. So, but as far as that, they could have just sent it in a large box. It would have made it.
they could have broken it up in each of the panels and stuff like that.
And you have to just snap them together.
Yeah, exactly.
Because it's not exactly like a set that's gonna fall apart. Like it's flat. You can flat back that quite easily.
Yeah.
I feel like if the team got together also, they could probably put that mosaic together pretty quick.
Yeah. Maybe they're not planning. Maybe Lego wanted them to have it as a team building activity. One. Two, maybe they had their own delay on the supply chain end, and they're just like, whatever, those guys can do
that
it.
One I believe.
Yeah, which is possible because they're overloaded right now. Yeah. And then 3, maybe it's because there's another biggest set coming and they're going to have to disassemble it sooner rather than later.
I believe that one more so would be the new UCS set, like the AT-AT would be the one that whoever's building, the master builders that are building this wherever, where they have to glue every single thing together. They are probably focused on that right now to send to every single store in the world. So that's probably why.
I have a speculatory question. Once the AT-AT comes out, do you think they're going to say that will be the biggest Lego set?
Oh.
I think they're going to keep using that.
It's speculation, right? For the set still? Kind of? Right?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Just a question.
It's all jitter jabber.
I mean, it's speculated to be like, 6,500 pieces. So technically, on that sense, it's not going to be the biggest, but it's going to be sizable, right?
Oh, definitely,
Yeah.
definitely. So normally, what I did when we had like large sets to build, even if as long as the set's announced, we could always bring the set out early before release date, as long as it's been announced officially by Lego in any of their platforms. So let's say let's just use the AT-AT for example. Let's say Lego, we got the set as a Lego store and it's huge and it needs to be built for some reason. We can't build it on the floor until Lego finally. So let's say we just start building the legs, like bags 1 through 6, and then now Lego tomorrow announced, hey, blah 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 blah. The AT-AT is going to release this day. Then we can start building on the floor. At that point, I would stop letting our staff build it on the floor. What I would do is make customers build it for us. So then it makes people, one, it takes the work off of us, but two, like it makes people want the set because a lot of adults are completionists. And what they'll do is when they start building something, they want to finish it.
Yeah.
So then they'll come back later to build it. That's how we sold like all of our Hogwarts castles.
Man, you're like a drug dealer. Give him a
Yeah,
taste. and just
Hey, I
build it.
was a really good Lego salesman. It was bad. Like AFOLs would purposely not come to stores sometimes because they know I'd sell them something. It was bad.
It's
Like
true.
they're like if I was a Lego store if I was a Lego store manager at one of the San Francisco stores and I knew who Claire was, as far as an AFOL is concerned,
Game over.
oh, come in wanting to spend $800, she's gonna walk out with $6,000. Like
I feel
easy.
like you would order specific sets just so she would buy them. Like you guys got to send me these. Yeah, you're muted. You're muted.
You're on mute. You're on
Sorry.
mute.
Yeah, but I was gonna say you'd probably also like treat me really well because of that. You know what I mean?
Yes, I
It's
would,
like
I would.
True.
like no like
I treated
yeah.
everybody well.
So my Lego store, they don't know me yet, but anyway, I went in there and I got some Monkey Kid sets that were on 20% off. Wave 1 is 20% off. So if you guys, but not all the stores. So there's like 6 stores or 5 or 6 stores in the Bay Area. I called all of them. Only San Francisco was like totally aware of it. First of all, some of other stores didn't have any Wave 1 in stock, so they didn't even know of it. And a couple of them like had some Wave 1, but they weren't on 20% off. So just like call around to all the stores in your area if you're interested. But like it's 20% off. So that includes like the Monkey Kid Mech, the Demon Bull King, the Flaming Foundry, Sandy Speedboat, the what's it called? TEK, help me out here. The
Flame Foundry is technically Wave 2 as well, and like this is not just in America either. Monkey Kid has been taken off the shelf in the UK for quite a while now, and the majority of the stores will only have either the Foundry or the Roadster and maybe Sandy Speedboat. They're the 3 that kind of stayed in stores a little bit longer. You won't find any Iron Bull tanks because I've bought all of them in the UK. So. But yeah, so you might, if you kind of want the Foundry. I mean, every store that I went to with Greg, like in London, had Foundries.
Yeah, there's a lot of Foundries in stock. I think that was like probably their one of their least successful ones. I was able to get like to complete a lot of stuff. They even pulled out Red Sun's Inferno truck from the back room for me, which I don't even know was supposed to be on sale, and so they gave that to me on 20% off, threw in like a ton of like extra gifts with purchase.
Oh wait, what month are we on?
Oh, they're not like things that you would have expected. I got like the Chariot.
I wonder if they're doing inventory.
Probably.
Because if they are, they're trying to get rid of sets because they need to get ready for the wave. They're getting ready for June.
Yeah.
So Monkey Kid in the US is still staying on shelves, at least the one in San Francisco. And I don't know if it's because we have a bigger Asian market here or not, but we ended up, they're still keeping it and they were making room for the stuff that's coming out in July.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
That's good. Because we've been told that numerous stores, not just in London as well, like Southampton, I think Bristol said this as well, that Monkey Kid is going online only in the UK. And that's why a lot of the sets have gone 20% off, is because they don't want them. Like
there's no room.
Yeah, they've not had them on the shop floor. The only place that did have 2 of the stores had them in the shop floor, only because I think they have so many Flaming Foundries that they want them there to be gone. Otherwise, you have to ring up, and if they've said that online that they've got them in stock, then they're probably in the back room.
Damn, Monkey Mech for $110.
It would be good.
I just did the math right now. I'm like, oh.
Wait, but you already have that one.
The Mech? I don't have the Mech.
Oh, you don't have the Mech.
I have HQ.
Okay.
I have the Mech.
Well, call around. You've got a bunch of stores around you.
I'm not supposed to shop.
Okay.
You see my last hauls, like I kind of admitted
Yeah.
the nomination that would make an epic stupid haul, and I kind of outed myself on that, and I should probably chill.
Okay, chill. Okay,
You
so
don't want to be in the doghouse, Shy. I say
no.
chill,
So,
chill.
our topic today, though, let's get into a little bit, is about creating like adult Lego content. So, I wouldn't say that like Monkey Kid is in that kind of 18 plus range, even though the price point pushes it to that point. Like who can really buy that stuff? And I know a lot of adults obviously love it.
I
But
feel like that's with all Lego in general.
absolutely. But so Lego has been coming out with like this 18 plus range, but at the same time, YouTube has been changing, right? The platform has been changing over the years. And TEK, do you want to talk a little bit about your history and how long you've been here, kind of on the platform, and how you came back, and what it is that you're looking for as a viewer from when you were and a content creator from when you were a kid to now?
Yeah, so I started my channel in like 2008, 2009. I think I posted my first video in like April 2009. And I was in the community, probably, I say in the community, there wasn't a huge community like it is now, obviously. The platform's grown, the hobby's grown, like, but it was like it was a small little space, and it was quite easy to grow in some respects. I've got some like older videos that have got like crazy views for what they actually are. But yeah, a lot of the content was the same. It was mocks, it was army videos, at least Lego Star Wars. I didn't really venture out too much into like city stuff, because as a like 12, 13-year-old boy, I only had X amount of money and I was only buying Star Wars. So that was kind of the realm that I was staying within. I'm sure there were like Lego city builders and stuff like that, but it wasn't. And that's probably another thing as well, is like a lot of the communities now, even like the most hardcore Star Wars people, you'll still see them building other creator expert sets, or they'll go and venture out. Whereas I feel like before, everyone kind of stayed in their theme. But yeah, no,
So people are diversifying.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and I hear it was probably like 2014, I think, was the last time I posted a video. I went to a convention and I just did like a highlight thing of that. But yeah, I kind of just grew up that casual, like going into your dark age, you kind of outgrow it a little bit. Discovered alcohol, that kind of thing, go party, and then and then I feel like I've done a pretty good job of that for like 6 years or whatever. And now, yeah, I needed something at the beginning of lockdown to be like get back into, and like a hobby that was kind of something a bit more constant. And actually, like 2000.
Dude, let me put a pause into that, just so I don't forget this thought that just came in my head. And it's not a segue or anything, but you said you got back into it during COVID, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right. I remember the first time I saw you, and it was on Brickatech's
Yep.
like community stream.
Yep.
And then you stuck out because one of your accent, because everybody was from the States. And then you were talking about yourself, and I was like, oh, he seems interesting. And then you disappeared like everybody else did on that stream. But I didn't forget, because your name was TEK, you can't forget that. But you just said you came in during COVID. Are you here to stay when COVID is officially done in this world?
Look, I don't think it would take much of a pan around this room to see like how into the hobby I am now. Like more so than ever before have I been into it. And I think like when I was quite an impressionable person as a teen, so I feel like when I was still loving Lego, and I still would keep up to date with different things here and there, as like even though I was in my dark age, but I was very much that thing of like, oh, this is not cool. Like none of my friends knew I had like a YouTube channel. None of my friends knew I was into Lego. I had a panic attack when I had a party once, and like people were downstairs, and we like just closed off like my bedroom and the upstairs of the house.
Can I relate?
Yeah. And a couple of people like come up the stairs into my room, and there was like this Star Wars mock like on a table at the end of my bed, and I was like freaking out. No one ever said anything, and I was just kind of like swept under the rug or whatever. But like, yeah, it was just something that I was never comfortable with sharing. And I know it's so stupid, and if I could tell myself anything like back then now, just like stick at it, because you do genuinely love this thing. And I think that's why I've come back to it, is because now I'm in a position where actually I don't care. And I really enjoy the product. I really enjoy the community that I found on YouTube. And yeah, so for sure, like I'm here to stay. I got a lot of plans of things I want to do. And I mean, work can get in the way. It's finding that work-life play balance.
Good luck.
Hey, those head-to-head videos also.
I'm not looking forward to juggling all of that, but at the same time, like I'm here and I've made some incredible friends, like just incredible friends that I would always have my foot in the door for that alone. So
yeah, I feel the same way.
Yeah.
I mean, like that's great, and I love that you're here and you're here to stay. That's one thing, is that I see a lot of people. Well, part of me hopes that a lot of the fandom that came during COVID kind of chills out a little bit once everyone comes back to normal, because I want Lego sales at Walmart and Target now this holiday, and I don't want things to be sold out online. But that's just like me being selfish about it. But it is good that we got a lot of people into the community or communities, because there's a bunch of them within this Lego space, whether it be YouTube, Twitch now growing, but like, you know, in the mock, whatever community you find yourself into. It's grown significantly, so it's good to see new faces, because before, like a year ago, it was just the same people over and over and over again, and then there was like a new flash of new blood, and they added a lot of like and come on, we have women,
yeah,
like talking and having their own thing. There's a big one, self plug, this Saturday, tomorrow.
Yeah,
You want to shout that out, Claire?
Yeah, on I'm Bored Toys' channel, but he also does a lot of stuff with Brenda, and her and Kevin's wife, is Bored Productions. They are hosting a bunch of us for a ladies live stream.
Yeah, another one. It's been a while since you guys did one of these. I actually look forward to them.
Yeah, I think my channel was the last one.
Yeah, I mean, you guys are able to like round up the entire world for this event. That's the reason why it's pretty cool. So, anyways, what was I saying? I forgot where I was going with this. So yeah, it is good to see the new fresh blood, new interpretations of everything, and new thoughts and values into the game, which is now making everybody else think about what's important. So, just FYI, it's good to have you guys here, Claire and TEK.
Thank you.
I'm glad
We're just here.
We're just here now. We're just watching. But anyways, I didn't mean to interrupt.
Just lurking. Yeah. TEK, keep going.
Keep going, TEK.
I don't know what much more. It's just adding that, but like, I guess like going into the theme of like adult content, and this is something that me and Claire have kind of discussed before. I guess I could ask you guys. 18 plus Lego sets are now a thing, and they're going hard with it, and it's a thing that's here to stay, right? So on YouTube, for sure, who are the content creators? I can think of one, and this might be me just being so like detached from this side of YouTube, but like, who's representing the 18 plus market that Lego clearly sees that there is on YouTube? I think Bricks are. Like, that's the only person that I can kind of scratch together that.
Well, I mean, like, Shy represents like the military community, which is always going to be 18 plus.
Yeah.
And then
I represent a different kind of 18 plus.
Yeah. And then I think I don't like, it's hard because it's like, but
the answer spread. Yeah, the answer to answer that question, like, there's a lot that make up one person, I guess you would say, to make one individual the person. Like, Brickstar is a good example of an adult fan of Lego. Like, he's the, I guess we'll say, poster child of that. He focuses himself on vintage Lego, and he does that's his niche, but he does dive into the company, about his viewpoints, like what are they doing well,
like
what are they doing good, that collectible. Yeah, so he is like, I guess you would say, yeah, you're right. He's like the poster child of like what an adult fan of Lego is and what their complaints about, all that kind of stuff. But he also stems
not
from
all of us are like that.
Yeah.
That's, to be fair, to him, like that's a lot of weight on his shoulders to be like, you represent the entire AFOL community, which isn't like, he represents a big chunk of it, maybe more the older, like, and I don't mean older like from an age perspective. I mean older like people that have been in it for a really long time.
The fools.
But you also have all the city builders.
Mm-hmm.
Like the big ones who just focus on city building. I mean,
right.
they're adult fans, but they're not like diving into issues like how Jabo does it. Like they're just building a city, talking about the
Right.
city, and then you have your other niches. Like I guess myself, the military side, but there's a whole outside myself. There's a bunch of like mock builders that are out there that focuses on like things that you can only afford if you have money, have a job, like. That is not only on YouTube but like on Instagram, like these like people that create these beautiful works of art using the brick as a medium, and then you have like the whole what is it the like PBN Pink Bucket Nation type of AFOLs who literally just do group chats like this.
But that's like they're just like using YouTube
Yeah.
as like a Zoom call at that point, which is fine. But that's like I guess the question is like that's not content creation. Do you know what I mean? That's like a different thing.
That's fair.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. So Briggsar comes from that. He comes from that group of people. He knows them very well because he sees them, talks to them in conventions, he builds stuff with them. But unlike them, Jabo makes content.
Yeah.
Like real content. And that's the reason why he sticks out amongst them and why people look up to him and see his views, and why immediately when you think of the AFOL before everybody else here, you thought of Briggsar.
Yeah.
So that's a very fair point. Post-child.
That's funny because I think the 18 plus stuff is not really aimed towards AFOLs. I think it's trying to get other like non-AFOLs.
Remember, it's for low affinity users, people walking by the store.
Yeah, we're not the 18 plus crowd. It's somebody. It's like it's my friends who recently got into the Lego community. You know what I mean? Or got into the Lego hobby. Not even the community, the hobby.
It's the people you bring to your house that you're afraid to tell your Lego.
You don't want to show them. You don't want
to
show
those
them
are the people that Lego wants.
It's a good thing. I think we all have to remember that like we want Lego to be a successful company. We want money to be flooded towards them because that means like more sets, more interesting things. Like, we're so excited over the Daily Bugle, Daily Bulge, whatever you want to call it. And it's like, thank you, Ryan, M&R Productions. But like, it is genuinely like, it was like branded as an 18 plus set. Like you look at the box, it's black, like that's something that people have been begging for ages.
Mm-hmm.
And if Lego is making money, then they're able to like produce sets like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
or take a chance.
Exactly.
Because it's for a long time. Like, I mean, the adult fan community, we get like a bone every now and then, especially when they create ideas. But that was pretty much it. And then they created expert or creator expert, and that was kind of it. But if you look at the box, it was very like colorful, things like that. And then they did the whole minimalistic type of thing.
Totally. But to go back to like the topic, I think what's really difficult is that is there an echo? Can you guys hear it? I can hear it. Does that mean it's me? Is that better? Oh well.
Yeah. There you go.
Anyway, so here you guys keep going. I'll try to futz with my audio.
I guess 18 plus is so broad. When you think of like Lego as what 5, 6, I have to take away that dupe on that. 5, 6 to 16, 18.
Her demographic?
Yeah.
Her demographic speaks like 7 to like 12.
7 to 12. Okay, so and then when you think of like 18 plus, that's a huge range then of people that they're trying to get invested in.
The 18 plus also attracts the teenager. That 13 to 17.
13,
yeah. Because remember I just said like 7 to 12. So at the 12-year-old point, at least for here in the United States, that's when you start to get into high school and you start thinking about a lot of things that are more important.
Not cool.
Yeah. So you get a lot of drop off of the of the Lego fandom, and that's the reason why they're like teenagers are low affinity consumers, or 12-year-olds or 11-year-olds are low affinity as consumers, because you're about to lose them. So by having an 18 plus line, you make it okay to like for teenagers to understand like, oh, okay, adults are allowed to play with this. It's not that bad. I can stick around. You know what I mean?
I mean, my favorite Lego sets are the 18 plus ones. Like I like a lot of them are. You know what I mean? Like I think Ninjago City. Yeah, like Ninjago City, if it came out now, it would be an 18 plus set. I think maybe not.
No, I mean,
I don't know.
You got me, but buying friend sets, like I'm buying 7-year-old, 8-year-old girl stuff.
Well, that's the other
I'm an influencer.
Yeah, we're not. I don't feel like we particularly fall under any of Lego's target, like where they've marketed, because they know that we'll buy anything Like anything that we see our friend build that's like kind of cool. Like you said, Shai, I bought friend sets because Claire bought that party boat, not the party boat, the rescue boat. And I was just like, oh, right. And now I've got the cinema, and now I'm working on a mock of it. And now that like introduced me to mini dolls. And now I don't care about mini dolls, so I'm buying all the Disney sets. See, like
they're not bad. They're good sets.
They're great sets. They're great Lego sets. But it was something that I didn't touch before.
Colorful.
It wasn't Lego's marketing that got me to
windows.
buy it. It was the
Nice.
power of word of mouth. But yeah, the color palettes on them are great. Until it's one of those things. Like you build one, and then it's like, oh, the floodgates open. And
they're joyful. Yeah, they're really joyful sets and stuff. But the thing, and like also if you like mocking them, you know, there's like so much inspiration from them. But I think that like the sets are one thing, and then there's success on YouTube. So as a content creator, I think sometimes like if you really think about like the really big YouTubers out there, like the biggest one of all is a kids creator, LEV, right? She's like got over 2 million subs.
Is she considered for kids right now on her channel? Did she turn?
Well, maybe not officially, but she's.
Her audience is definitely.
You could tell.
Yeah.
Have you watched her content? I mean,
not lately. Not
intentionally like, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with it, but she's like the way that she's articulating herself is for a child.
Yeah.
That's fine.
She's built her audience on, and there is a huge audience for that kind of content. And then, like, if you even people like, I think there's some people in the community as well that think they're making content for adults, but they're not. Like, just because they're a little bit risque with the language that they may use, or different topics that they might joke or touch on about, like, the content is still based around Lego from a very surface level kind of point of view. And I think that is something that will attract kids. Like, I think a younger audience aren't going to go and watch like a 20-minute deep dive on one minifigure or like some printed pieces or something. That's not really, they want to be wowed, and they want that like wow factor. Like you said, Shai, about the kind of Lego city builders and their kind of target audience, but I see those kind of videos as aimed for kids because they are big, they are impressive, and while they may have
disclosure, if you're a city builder out there, we're not saying that coppers should go after you. You are not.
No.
Just say that. Just to protect those city builds out there.
I guess maybe we should we change like the vocabulary that we're using, because there's like kid content, there's family friendly, there's and then there's
mature,
and maybe more like politically,
PG-13.
emotionally stimulated. Like, for example, Michaela's stream that she just started, which is about mental health and using Lego and the tie between the two. So that's something that's new.
Mm-hmm.
That's new. But I feel like kids could enjoy that also, because like some kids might be able to relate to that, you know?
Yeah. I mean, there is a fine line that you want to kind of like brand yourself, I guess. But like having more mature content does kind of make it okay for some topics to be discussed, because there are a lot of things that I wished adults would be talking about that I knew when I was a teenager that would have helped me, like financially, mentally, all that kind of stuff that were a little bit taboo to talk about to your parents, or or made you uncomfortable to discuss with your friends who you think at that age would be judging you.
That's just getting very broad here, but like I'll rein it back in. But like the internet can teach you a lot, and it can be used for a really good thing. Like you said, like there's topics that you want to learn about that you don't feel comfortable speaking to other people about. It is out there, and like without blowing smoke up your guys' ass, I think this is why this podcast is very good and why it's very popular amongst older people. Like, because this is a space within, like, with 3 people that love Lego and have that as a common thread, but aren't scared to talk about the political ramifications that come with that, or just the more mature, I don't know what terminology we're going to coin here, but like the political themes, the political aspects of Lego, why it's important that Lego did Everyone is Awesome, why it is important that we're not just getting light flesh tone minifigures, things like that a kid wouldn't like isn't initially going to be latched onto, but could learn how.
But it's hard though, because you can't just do that content. Like I know that like Cece did a video, like that where she talked about race, in terms of like, and representation and diversity in the Lego minifigures. But then like it also has to be like she also has to do other kinds of content, you know what I mean, for growth. So you can't just like sit on that, like you're not going to see somebody. I don't know. Is it fear-based because people want to get into LAN? Is it fear-based because or is it because they want to be more successful on YouTube? Which there's nothing wrong in that. There's like literally nothing. There's nothing wrong in wanting that success. You know what I mean? And then just like and then knowing that it's a toy at the end of the day, and that the majority and that the AFOL community is the smallest one out of all the communities.
Yeah. Despite having the like broadest range, you're right.
The only way that I like see it, I think what's really hard is that like I think a lot of people have tried, and I think maybe like Ryan is probably the closest one to do it, where it's like people that have like crossed the threshold from having people that don't just like Lego watching your videos. So I think because he does Star Wars content, he can pull in like the Star Wars like fans, you know what I mean, that like are collectors and stuff adjacent, especially like, on his like M&R collects or whatever video. But I think where the real success would be as a content creator would be to not only get Lego fans, but get the rest of the public. And I think in my perspective, there's like a few ways of doing that. You can do it like from an education perspective, which is probably the reason I'm saying that first is the one that like interests me the most, which is kind of what I've tried to do with like some of my videos, where it's like, it's not necessarily like honorary or like, trying to be condescending or teaching, but also like having like a value, like having information that's not just associated with Lego, but tying it back to Lego. I think there's like a space that, or using the medium of Lego and the art side of Lego to articulate other topics as well.
Yeah,
I think there's like space for that. I don't know. What do you guys think in terms of like other, and then like Ninja, honestly, I think if you like even pushed the music thing even more and then like articulated your music and like did your music videos out of Lego, you know what I mean? I think there's space for that.
I've thought about that actually.
Yeah, I think that would be really cool. And then like, Shy, you could even do like stop motion talking about military history and then like, using your Lego for that. And so these aren't Lego videos.
Stop motion though?
I don't know.
I'm just kidding.
You know what I mean? It's just, but my point is like, it's not a Lego video anymore. Lego is the medium at this point, and I don't know. I think there's potential there. So
I feel that because like, we just, man, it's like we like Lego, but it's not our life. It's not the only thing we do.
Yeah.
That's like the main thing.
Yeah. It also comes with being different.
Whereas a younger fan, that like they go to school, whatever, but like all they think about, like I remember being a kid, like all I think about, even at school all day, was like Lego. Like there was times in my life where that was all I thought about it, and I just didn't care about anything else. And like because you're younger, you don't have other things to think about. Yeah, so I think that is spot on, Claire. I think having content that uses Lego and like links Lego, again, like what you got here, it's something you're threaded through Lego, but actually you could go
all over the place
Lego as you wanted, and it wouldn't feel out of place or weird.
Right.
Oh yeah, I agree. I mean, but do you think though, like kids though, like young kids, I'm not talking about teenagers, they just want the Lego.
Yeah.
So like,
I think there's adults that just want the Lego too.
Yeah, that is true. They come here to escape, which is a good reason why a lot of people come to this community. It's because they want to get away from reality sometimes, and then we slap you with it and we make you turn away.
No, look at this.
To remind you, hey, you gotta pay your mortgage tomorrow. There are people that come here to kind of let go and release their life's energy that's hurting them to kind of levitate this way. But I mean, like, why do I say it that way? That doesn't make any sense. But that might be a deterrence for a lot of people like us who are trying to be different, and a lot of people won't want to come here because at face value they're seeing what we do, which is like you being an architect and you put a lot of intellect to your Lego builds. A ninja starts, hardcore rapping and freaking everybody out because he's
What did
hardcore.
you just say? No.
And then I start talking about mental issues and military stuff. It could scare away a lot of kids, which is essentially the largest demographic on YouTube.
Mhm.
Yeah. It's a risk. If you want to do that content, it's like a risk you have to take. And then does this go back to the whole, because I think like Tricky Bricks does actually like a pretty good job of like kind of touching on adult content in a sense, like that, they do talk about like cultural relevance, and they talk deeply about parts and pieces, but there's no, it's still appropriate for kids to watch too. It's like
family
Yeah,
friendly.
I feel like they have a perfect balance of that.
See, theirs is family friendly because like I could
Yeah.
watch that with my kids.
Mhm. Easily.
Like, oh, that's cool. Whereas
Easily.
like
Here, no.
that's why I do my stream, because I like to just be unfiltered, and like I have a sailor's mouth sometimes. I can't lie.
Mhm.
And when I
Yeah.
hop on other people's streams, I gotta cover that up, and I feel like I just gotta let it out sometimes.
And that's why you stream at 10 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
The kids should be asleep at that. I mean, my
Should be
kids aren't.
asleep.
I mean,
And
they should be.
there's a parental advisory slap on there. Bam. Like there may be some bricks over here, but this is
So with that being said, do you think there is potential now that we're having the 18 plus targeted line for Lego? Is there a potential for like adult themed content in the Lego space going forward? Like to literally grow with, like if you're not basing your audience on children, do you think you'll be just as successful targeting Lego and adults than Lego with and children? That's like the issue.
Not as successful. Like the audience of kids being on YouTube and having the time to spend on YouTube, I don't think that will ever be able to be combated. You'd have to blow up big. But having said that, like I look at our live stream chats, and yeah, there are some younger people in there, but there's a lot of people that are hanging out, that are just building along, that are AFOLs, and that have got families, and that like they put their kids to bed and they're just chilling out and hanging out. And whilst that isn't necessarily as deep a conversation as maybe we're thinking about, like content wise, then I still think there is an audience for it.
Yeah.
There is an adult audience out there in the YouTube space based on other things aside from Lego.
Yeah, of course.
There's a lot.
Yeah.
Like no kid's gonna be watching someone do grass videos.
See,
You know what I mean? Like or building a deck. Like there's a lot of content creators out there that literally aren't really targeted towards adult or children, but are clearly just for adults because that's what their topic is, and they're really, really successful. So to find that here is, I still think it needs to be cracked, because I don't think anybody has completely mastered it yet.
Do you think that it might have something to do with the stigma around Lego being a toy?
And yeah, that's what I was going to lead to. Yes, exactly. Because, we all, essentially it is a toy. That's what it is. It's a toy. And toys culturally since the beginning of time are meant for children, right? Now we can play with it and mature it as much as we want to make it artistic, whatever. It doesn't matter. However you brand it. At the end of the day, it was created as a toy. What you do with it afterwards, it's on you.
Yeah.
So it's going to takes a lot of educating and understanding and thought to kind of break away from that stance, which a lot of people aren't capable of at face value.
Which is kind of weird, because I feel like there's a lot of like other channels that are successful that are like collection channels, but like they have Lego, but they don't focus on it. But like Funko Pop, that's still a toy. Like everything's still a toy. I just think it's weird that people look at like AFOLs like, oh, that's a toy. But like you guys do the same thing.
Yeah.
Like
those channels focus on different types of markets though, because you just said it. Like they're not Lego, but they do other collection stuff, and then they bring in the collections from Mattel. They bring in collections from Funko. They bring in collections from video games. They bring in collections from Lego. Like they touch every single one, and then that's how they're able to kind of capitalize on all the people. And at the end of the day, they become a commentary channel. So like they're not really like a niche. They're just a hoarder of toy products in the back. So I think at the end of the day, commentary channels are where it's at. But like,
Hey.
It's hard to like here. Just if we just want to focus and just keep on the Lego, it's hard, and I don't think anybody here has mastered it yet. Not a single YouTuber, because everybody is niched. Every successful Lego YouTuber is niched in some facet, like where their audience is at least 50% catered to whatever they focus on, and then a good maybe 20% is catered to like their personality, and then the rest of it is like, I know who you are, I respect what you do, I'm just gonna follow you and listen to what you have to say anyways, regardless of what you sell. You know what I mean? Or you're trying to tell me.
Yeah.
So I'm sure there's a lot of people who watch Ryan who aren't Star Wars fans and or don't buy Lego Star Wars.
Mm-hmm.
They're there for him, or they're there because he is a large YouTuber. So it's like, you should know who he is. Just like when people talk about like Brixar and they don't know who he is. I'm like, you don't know who Brixar is? You don't know who Solid Brick Studios is? Like, it doesn't matter if you like watch your stuff but I mean, there are prominent people in the Lego YouTube space that like people just simply follow them because they have clout.
Yeah.
You know?
To touch back on the adult thing, like the adult audience, one thing is like before I stumbled across the community, I was never like on YouTube like a bunch until now. Like YouTube was never a thing. Like, oh, I'm just gonna watch some YouTube. Like I never even thought about it. So maybe that could be affecting like the adult audience.
Yeah, most adults don't subscribe to it.
Yeah,
they just watch. They go to YouTube for information. They get their information and they leave.
Right? How to do this?
Yeah, how to find the setting to this TV screen.
How
literally
to set
that's
the
all they're gonna
VCR
do.
clock.
Yeah.
Nah, two boomer energy.
No, I get that, but that's the real thing though. A lot of kids have the time, like you said right there, have the time to kind of, perusal through different indexes of YouTube videos. Whereas an adult, their only face with YouTube is typing what they're looking for. Here's the first 5 videos. Click the first video that they see. There's not the same. That's not what they wanted. They click the next video. They go down until they find the information they need, and then they leave, and that's it. They're not coming back to those channels anymore. They're not going to come back to like see what this person's about. They're literally just there and they're gone. So if you look at it in a Lego perspective, like you track people by a Lego set. Oh, that's a cool Lego set. Let me look it up. Lego Coliseum, and then the first 5 that get the initial view because they either put it out first, or they either like just have the view count to make it go to the top of the list. Then they'll watch that video, they'll see if they want it or not, and then they leave. Yeah. It's like the person who it's usually the kids or the teenagers who have the time. They'll kind of just stick it out and then see what else they have. Oh, that's cool, but it becomes more materialistic at that point. So we're the audience that we're essentially trying to grab or for personality, like come chill with us because I'm cool, as opposed to like, here's the Lego set. Oh, we like the Lego set. This is the Lego set. Okay, bye.
Yeah,
that's fair. That. So that's why it's hard, man. That's why the Lego space is hard. It's so hard.
I think Shai, you've got a good like core audience from your like military thing, which is obviously adult content. Like it is tailored at adults. And again, like I think Claire said, the price of that stuff, like you're immediately priced out, like because you just a kid is just not going to be able to go and spend what would be maybe like even a £200 Lego set is like 10 times the price of that.
So the only way I think about capitalizing on that, and I'm not trying to, is that they're like kids who watch my stuff are just living through my videos. You know what I mean? Because I'm able to provide them a little inner look with what this is, as opposed to a picture on a computer screen. So, I mean, that's the only thing though. But like, in the end of the day, it's starting to hurt me financially. Like, not really, but I mean, it's like, do I want to keep spending this much money on the same thing? And it's kind of like, I want to grow in other spaces, but it's hard to get out of it. You know what I mean? Even though like I wouldn't say I'm a top-notch dog on it, but like, I want to do other things. I'm trying to diversify. I want to grow. Like, I don't want to be stuck at a low count. And that's keeping this niche is keeping me at a low count, because the audience for it is not deep. It's not heavy. A lot of people don't care. There's a lot of people out there that believe that Lego should not be doing military stuff, and the Lego sets that, or the custom sets that not only Brickmania, Brick Veteran, or even other custom Lego companies like Eclipse or anything like that, or Citizen Brick, they are fake Lego. They consider that fake Lego, even though they're real Lego bricks. So there is a little stigma against customizers and custom custom Lego companies that push against what people are really diehard Lego fans are. Like the real ones who are like, we'll back up Lego no matter what, and we'll never criticize them. They'll like, no, I can't touch that. I'm too much of a purist. So it's like, it's a game that it's hard. It's very hard to play. It really is, especially if you choose something that's not a large audience within a small audience.
Mm-hmm. Shai, out of interest, you did your mental health video.
Yeah.
Comparatively to your third-party minifigure video or
Brick Veteran stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, like your like reviews on the bigger Brickmania sets, things like that. Like, how did that compare? Like, was it loads better? Was it loads worse? Like performance analytics wise, or
as far as engagement is concerned, like real engagement, that video harvested more than I can ever fathom my entire time being on this platform. Not just what you see in the comments. Like if anybody wants to look at that video, look at the comments. It's ridiculous about how much people felt like, I guess not necessarily like forced to, but like open. They're very open about telling me the similar stories that they're going through, or being empathetic or sympathetic, however way they felt, or that applies to them. They put it a lot into their comments, and I've never seen that before in any of my videos. And not only that, there were 3 times as much on DM on Instagram, because these people weren't comfortable putting on a public space. So as far as view count though, it did decent. I wouldn't say it's like, if you look at your rate 1 through 10, it's like a number 3 or 4. That's what it is. But a lot of my military videos, they're evergreen videos. They grow over time. They're not necessarily like the first initial is the impact and then disappears. Like it literally, it's really, really weird. It like it can go crap, and then all of a sudden in a month it shoots up out of nowhere, and then back to crap, and then slowly increase. My analytics for my videos are really, I can't gauge it. It's literally, it's all over the place. So
maybe military AFOLs are still kind of in the closet.
No, it's not that. It's just it's relevance. You know what I mean? Like, let's say I'll use one example. Let's say the hold on, Ezra. So like the no. The tortoise is still sleeping. Leave it there.
Oh my God.
Ask mommy if you want to hold your pet.
This is real life.
Sorry, the tortoises woke up, so he wants to take him out of their enclosure. Let's say the F-35 jet makes an appearance in a movie, just released, right? The F-35 has been a custom Lego set for the past 6 years. People will type in F-35 custom Lego, boom, it starts to shoot up. You know what I mean? It's real. That's how it's currently looking right now. I'm like, so that's the reason why, at least for me, the stresses of putting out a video with any of the customizers, it's not really there, because there's really no need for me to rush out and be the first one to put this Brickmania set out, because at the end of the day, if you really want to see the set right now, go look at Brickmania. They're the ones with that information. And if you want an in-depth look, you're just gonna have to wait till someone decides to put it out, and when it comes out is when it comes out. Like, it's not an easily attainable set, and it's not something that not a lot of people can interpret equally. Everyone has a different depiction of that set, which is interesting and actually very unique about the space. So as far as going back to it, how did that video go against the other videos that I do? In comparison to views, like I said, again, 3 or 4, you know what I mean? Will it grow over time? It slowly is. Like, it really just depends if it pops up on your feed based on what you type in. But in the end, the comments and engagements and the community that showed up that I thought I didn't have was priceless.
Yeah.
And I think that's what I cherish about that video the most, is that I provided a platform for people to feel comfortable to express what they're going through. Because sometimes in my own personal experience, I held my issues in for a decade. And it wasn't until my kids were born that I finally started talking about it. And it took me I've known my wife all my life. I've never told her like my deepest regrets in the military and the things that haunt me still until like last like couple weeks ago. So it does help for people to talk, because when you talk, you breathe, you relax. But when you talk and breathe and relax, it's only a temporary thing. You're going to come back to thinking about what you were initially freaking out about. So when you talk about the thing that's messing with your head, you're able to rationalize the issue. At the same time, breathe and talk. So now you're calming down in a more relaxed state. So that's what I'm trying to like promote in that video. Is just to you're okay to have problems. We all do.
Yeah, it's okay to talk about them too. It's good to talk about them.
Exactly, and which is the reason what we try to. And this is the great thing that we have here is we're not afraid to talk about the issues, because they are issues that people have. We're not the only ones with these problems. There are people in the middle of nowhere that are going through something because they're lonely, or they're going through something because something happened to them. And then just to hear someone else is going through it too, it goes a long way. A long way. So yeah, going back to it, that video is worth doing. Yeah, regardless of the view count.
So bringing it back to kind of topic and that, like, do you
I
think
went to a tangent, I'm sorry.
I like how TEK is like now the guest host.
I know he's now running the show.
No, like but like, do you think that's where then the 18 plus content is having relatable content, like having relatable people, having people be invested in you for a start, and then having relatable stuff and like topical stuff that's more like current affairs. And
that's the hard part, is that if you want to be okay, so let's tackle that first part. To be able to succeed in what you just said for the first part of that, which is talking about personal issues, all that kind of stuff, you have to be able to track the niche for that issue at that time. Unless your channel is based on issues, people aren't going to go there for that. You know what I mean? Like a Dr. Phil. People go to Dr. Phil because they want to hear whatever crap this person's going through and kind of live through that. People aren't going to my channel based on that notion. They're going to my channel because of the Lego set. So already you're coming face value as a child. Oh, Lego. Oh, this got real. I can't do this. Peace. You know what I mean? So it's very, very hard to find that fine line of like, no, Ezra, go tell your mom. Now I just lost track.
I mean, you're talking about finding the fine line between.
Oh yeah, finding the fine line. And then what was the second part again? I completely lost track. Sorry, my traumatic brain injury is coming into play here.
God. It's
I'm
okay.
sorry.
It's just your kid. It's not. Oh my God.
I'm sorry. Hey, just wait, okay? Your kid's gonna come into your life and you just forget everything.
No, it's fine. It's fine. I guess it's called pregnancy brain, right? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I can't blame that I'm tired anymore. I just really am distracted.
Yeah, it's fine.
What was the second part to that?
Being relatable and just having like current affairs.
So current affairs, then you would have to brand yourself as a news channel. And then your current affairs for that time. Well, I mean, for people to come to you for that, like if you look at just news channels in the Lego space, those aren't evergreen videos.
Those are kids' videos.
Those are kids' videos. People just go there straight for that. And then, so to make it like a current event, I mean, you could brand yourself that way if you start talking about community stuff, but then we've seen how that can backfire for a lot of things. You know what I mean? Where negativity, harps on negativity, and then people just get offended, and then it becomes a whole mess on its own. If you want to talk about current affairs, if you want to talk about like new Lego news, we've already seen a lot of people interpret Lego news to try to make it more adult or more child. I mean, in the end of the day, it looks like a child news thing. And
except for Brick Q Foundation, I feel like he edits his videos in like a way that's like a little bit different.
And that's what he's harvesting on, and that's actually really good for him.
Yeah, like he's emulating like the tech channels, that do the.
Oh yeah, I know. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, like he's emulating.
Yeah, so that it definitely shows on the screen.
Yeah.
So that's what he's trying to do. I do know that.
To think of where an adult fan of Lego would be hanging out or like spending their time, you would think, right? That's where you would. If you think lug, you think AFOL. You don't tend to think like So, what kind of videos do you think you'd have to be doing that would be attracting those kind of people, the people that are in lugs? Like, what would you think you would.
I have no idea. I don't. Do they even watch YouTube? Do they even know it exists? Do they even like? Is it even
Yeah.
the platform for them? Do you know what I mean? I think the key is not necessarily like attracting them. I think it's the fact that like the quantity of people that are going to be on YouTube over the long term is going to increase, right? Because people are going to get older and people are going to keep watching it. People that grew up watching YouTube will keep watching YouTube, and then their interests are going to change. So it's trying to stay relevant with them, and like keep that momentum going. And I think that's very, very difficult. That's like trying to predict the future. You know what I mean? But I guess like you personally, TEK, like what do you want to see like from content creators, from yourself and from other people in the community?
That's a very good question. If anyone can think of an answer a bit quicker, that'd be great. Because there's definitely one to.
Yeah, I guess. Like, yeah, Ninja and Shy. Like, how about you? Like, what do you guys want to see?
I don't know. I stopped caring.
Yeah, I don't really.
Got it.
Like,
I really did. Like, I think us four are so immersed in the Lego YouTube space that we literally watch our content from each other based on because you're my friends.
Personality. Yeah, you
my
watch
friend.
based on personality now. Yeah.
I'm watching you because I want to see Greg get beat out in Technic. Like that's literally the reason why I watch. I want to see Tech Shorts run up as he's running, laughing at how Greg lost. I'm obviously plugging his latest video on his new channel. But like, that's the reason I want to see Claire mess up an entire video, realizing that it's not the video
raw footage.
Post. Yeah, God, I want to see like Ninja rap about stuff that he shouldn't be rapping about on a Lego form. I mean, that's what I want to see. I want to see like that content because we're all investing into each other more so than we are what you're literally providing us about the Lego set. Because I really, honestly, don't care about the Parisian restaurant that you're reviewing or the challenge, the Technic Challenger that from Fast and Furious that you're playing with, or the monkey kid sets that you just like or miraculously appear out of nowhere because someone said it. Like honestly, it doesn't matter. It's just how you say, like what you say about those sets is what I'm attracted to, not the information in itself. And I think that's what's more important to like me. But see, to get at this level, like to where we're investing into personality, it takes a long time. Yeah, it takes a little bit of trust, like to me to be like, Claire's wrong on that, but you know what? I'm gonna say she's right. Like, you know what I mean? Like that's literally, it takes a long time. You become closer in that way that you accept everybody for who they are. It really doesn't matter at that point. But for new audiences to come in, that's hard to attract. You know what I mean?
So who can you name anyone recently? Like who have you subscribed to recently?
I subscribe to your new channel.
There we go.
Tech. Literally my latest subscribe.
But like, so someone that you didn't know before, like you haven't like to the point where you haven't even interacted with them through like a live stream chat that you feature.
Yeah.
Like who purely on their content or like a video that you stumbled across, like a thumbnail that you saw, or like who have you subscribed to recently and you actually kind of like stuck around with?
I mean, what do you mean by stuck around? Like I'm still around?
Like carried on watching their content.
Okay, so I started watching BrickBucks. I am not
investing.
Right? Investing guys. So I don't care about investing into Lego. I don't want to. I don't want to sell stuff like they do. But it is interesting to see their point of view in some things, especially when they actually dive really deep into it. Like I didn't know, like, well, I didn't really think about it. I guess I kind of knew, but you don't hold on to Lego sets for more than 5 years if it's licensed. Like if it's a licensed Lego set, it's not wise to have hold on to a Lego set that's in Star Wars for 5 years. Why? Because there's a high probability that they're going to remake the set, and once they remake the set, it's no longer as valuable. So your Tumblr, Claire, it might not be valuable at the end of the year. So, but if you want to do the same thing with Lego Castle, that's a totally different story. Like I didn't know that information. That's new information for me. Will I ever use it again? I use it now. So there you go. Like, April B is another one. I know she's a Twitcher. I don't really subscribe to anyone on Twitch because I don't really use Twitch, but I do watch stuff. I'll type in their stuff at the given time. You know, I watch people out of nowhere just because I'm interested in what they have to say to see if like they bring anything new to the table. If they provide nothing, like if I see them drop off, then that's when I just stop caring. But I'm always looking for the next person to be like, okay, who has some value? Ooh, party. Oh,
sorry, it was an
okay.
ad. I'm sorry, my bad.
So that I guess
through my recent YouTube subscribe, who I've subscribed to recently for this question.
I can only think of, I can't think of the names. I know there's one like VW Bricks. They do like a podcast.
Oh, interesting. I don't know them at all.
But they're talking about speed champions, so I hopped in there and I was like, okay, it's interesting. But I can't think of like.
Well, I think because I've been getting into like mocks even more so lately. I subscribe to Hachiroku24, who's like a huge, obviously.
Oh yeah. He makes good Fast and the Furious mocks.
Yeah, and I like his mocks a lot, so I've been watching those. And then let's see, now let me go down.
You said that so perfect. I was talking about him on the stream. I was like, I'm not gonna say his name.
I don't know if I said it right. But yeah,
right.
That's definitely probably one of the most recent subs. I don't sub to a lot of people that aren't friends.
Just watch your content, let them bleed out in your home feed.
I really like Josh Build stuff. Actually, he's a pretty recent person I've subscribed to. I just his videos are like really kooky. Like he'll wear like a Hogwarts hat when he's doing like a Harry Potter review, and then he like had Fox next to him and he like lit Fox on fire.
Yeah.
And then he has like a stormtrooper behind him that like he dubs his voice over, and they're like talking back and forth to each other. So I like that.
See, now I'm gonna take a look at that channel. So usually when I dive into a new channel, it's by recommendation from a friend. You know what I mean? So now that you guys have mentioned some new people, I'm definitely gonna take a look at them. I might just subscribe to them so I continue to see what they have to offer, and then we'll go from there whether I stay or not. And when I stay, I mean, I hardly unsubscribe. I mean, like I just don't communicate with you. So I mean, it's very interesting to see how the flow of follow goes on the YouTube space. It at the end of the day does a continuating follow through, like following, where you have returning viewship does need personality. Because you need to be able to bring people in based on the very face value type of content, thumbnail, what
There's
you show.
more value there. There's more value there versus just like putting like flashy, bold titles and doing like Lego news or something like that. You know what I mean? Like it's just there's got to be something a little bit deeper. Otherwise, like that's where the value kind of comes in. It's like
the quality of the content.
Yeah, like what is the value of Lego? What is the value of the content? What is the value of the content creator? To you personally, and it's always subjective and it's always personal. And there's also like, just disclaimer, there's like nothing wrong in like just doing what is gonna get success on YouTube. There's like nothing wrong in that. There's no honoring. There's no like condescension coming from us. And you need to like figure out like how, like, if you're going to tie your identity to it, are you okay with it? If you're not going to tie your identity to it, that's fine. But it's just like, figure out what it is that you're looking for. And I think we're all struggling that. Like, I think the four of us, not struggling, but it's like a constant conversation. Like, okay, well, all right. Well, no, but like, what is it that we're looking for from YouTube? Like, is it financial gain? Is it like a hobby? Is it, and what kind
of notoriety?
yeah. Is it fame? Is it conversation? Is it a creative outlet? And it can be all of those things, different aspects of those things. And like, this is like the first time in my life in a really long time that I've had to really think about like, how do I want to brand myself? What's the appearance that I want to, what's like the energy and the brand that I want to have? And like, who am I on this space? And it's like, it's interesting because it's like, it's rare in life where you get to walk in and recreate yourself in a way. You know what I mean? Like
that's it.
Yeah, and it's
you have the control over your physical brand that you project.
Right. Which
Yeah.
is a good and bad thing at the same time. It's like, it's really a lot of pressure to be able to like, you know, to rebrand yourself and to figure it out. Like Tech, you and I've had so many conversations about this. Like, what direction should I go in? Should you go in? Should you do a new channel? Should I separate my vlogs on another channel?
Yeah.
You know, like, should like Sans be part of them? Should, you know, it's like, it's a lot of things because it's like, especially now, like, you know, Sans has like a different audience than I do. And like, we're combining them and it's like a choice that I had to make. That's a choice. And you have to be aware of that, you know? Anyway, so on that note, Tech, give us a plug about your new channel.
Plug about my new channel. Okay, so whilst after all of that, I wouldn't necessarily just think that this content is going to be 18 plus. Like, whilst I'm not going to filter like my language or anything on that channel, like whatever it will be, will be. I think what I really want it to be is a place where I can collaborate with my friends that I've met through the community or that I might not have, but that has something loosely based around Lego. To be honest, like the first video that I posted with Greg is probably like the most Lego I see it. Maybe, I don't know. Like,
got it. Okay.
Based around the product. However, there are things that I want to do. I want to do things like a quiz night, like a Lego quiz night. So I want to get YouTubers in and quiz them on a specific theme that they. So I'm going to get the first one I'm going to do is like a Harry Potter theme one, and you get 4 people that I know that I'm comfortable with because it's like my first time doing it, or whatever. And I want to host the quiz night, and I'm not quite sure of the format and everything. Yeah, but that's something that I really want to work on. Again, not particularly 18 plus content or whatever, but just stuff that is just a bit different to the traditional hauls vlogs, box reviews, that kind of thing that I think I'll just keep on my other channel. But yeah, that's kind of my.
So this one's catered to the adult. That's literally who you're trying to make your audience.
I think I'm catering to people that are like me, that can relate to me, and that have got a similar thought process, or that would get a similar enjoyment. Because like, if I was to do a haul video, while I know that a lot of the people that are the same age will watch it, they will watch it because it's me. New people watching that are probably going to be, like we said earlier, younger people that want to live vicariously through what I can afford.
Yeah. What our hobby is. Yeah.
But this stuff will be stuff that I want to do and produce that I really, really enjoy. That the audience will get enjoyment whether they know me or not, and it's a bit more produced. Like, definitely more produced. That's definitely.
I mean, I love the dramatic music thus far.
That was so dramatic. It was only like yesterday. I was watching it back again. I was like, this is so extra. Like, it's
That's
so
super
extra. And I don't think I would do anything quite that bad again, because it was like 2 Technicars. Like, who even cares? But
added to the race and the suspense.
There was a lot of suspense, a lot of tense mood. But like, it was fun, and like, it's not. Whilst it may have seemed really serious, it was very surface level, and it was just me and Greg having fun, and I could.
Just having fun.
And I think that's what people got from it, was that it was fun. Like, at least all the people that were in the chat, that it was just 2 guys having fun. And like, hopefully when I can get over to America, I'll be doing videos with Claire, with Sans. Hopefully if I get down to California, I'll meet you guys and we can do something as well. Like, that's what I want it to be. I think is more a collaborative videos with people in the community that may or may not be based on.
There you go. That's the definition of the channel. I just said it right there.
There we go. Yeah, I'll make sure I write that in my bio. Like.
Yeah, just clip this part of the video, and then just remember that.
That could be my channel trailer. I might do that, you know.
Yeah. Well, good luck with that, because it sounds fun and it looks like something that's interesting to look at.
Yeah, no, I'm excited.
It's not.
First video was top notch.
Yeah, good luck following that.
Oh god,
that's the pressure now. You made the pressure. So, are you going to take this seriously? Are you going to rebrand it? Are you going to brand it the way it is, the way you just said? Time will tell. We'll find out.
Time will tell.
Good luck.
But no, it's something I'm excited to do. It's just different. It's just a different avenue, and it's a different.
It's a different tech.
It's a different type of tech. All right, cool. So I think that'll be a good type place to end it right there,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yep.
Oh, and that because Claire has to leave.
My bad. Sorry, guys.
She's on the clock. She's like, man.
So close it.
All right. Well, thank you, TEK, for joining us. Really, really honored that you came and hung out with us, and looking forward to the future of both of your current channels. And I know you've mentioned a lot of other projects that hopefully would be coming along the way, so that'll be really fun. But yeah, let us come back and hang out with us again. Let's keep in touch. Let's keep in touch.
And we'll just see you in the next stream, which is right after this.
Yeah.
All right, so cue that music, yeah? Right?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, guys. Peace. All right. Oh, you forgot to say you can find us everywhere. It's always Claire either gets it, like she does it the best, or
the worst. I'm just totally. I'm sorry. I'm probably like I'm all over the place.